name is Amy Jacobellis. Amy Jacobellis.
Thanks for having me today. I'm really happy to be here. I'm very, very different from all these other people. They all sound like libertarians. They just call themselves Republicans. Of course, we all want smaller government. That's kind of half of the libertarian message, is that government is too big and the national government's too big and the right should be the states. And I think we all agree with that. I don't think anybody's going to say, I want the government to be bigger and spend more money. But another part of being a libertarian is we believe that the government should stay out of our personal lives. And a lot of what I'm hearing from the conservative movement is that they want to pass laws and have the government tell people how to live their life and what they should believe in. And I'm very different. Let me just tell you a few things that have really been on my mind. First of all, this anti-Obama rhetoric that's been going on since before he was elected. And I just found a book called The Obama Hate Machine by Bill Press, and it explains that this is nothing more than really just an advertising thing. And I know everybody just has a knee-jerk reaction when they hear the word Obama. But they need to have an open mind. So I have an open mind. I don't make snap judgments. And I don't like the fact that this President Obama is being used to represent a whole bunch of stuff that people consider evil. So I think that's wrong and not open-minded. There's also a book I read recently, called The New Jim Crow, and this is a book everybody needs to get. Because one of the things that the libertarians believe is that we don't need to have prohibition on marijuana and other substances, and that's causing a lot of the problems with the borders of Mexico. And what's happening here is that black people are being put in jail at a ridiculous rate compared to white people, and then they don't have the right to vote when they get out. And that's something that you need to have an open mind to look into. The No Hate campaign, NOHA, I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, but I'm very in favor of marriage equality. And I know that's where I differ with a lot of these people. Marriage equality, gay rights, women's rights. I think that women's rights are very much under attack. And every time I hear someone say that the government needs to get involved in reproduction, I know that that's taking away women's rights. Women cannot have rights and be equal if they don't have control over their own bodies. And I'm really sick of the rhetoric where it's, I appreciate that they're pro-life, and I understand that, but they don't need to be getting into the government. The government should not tell us what to do with our bodies. That's very important. I think we're losing sight of that. I know that healthcare, Obamacare is a big hot button, and I understand that too. And it's not called Obamacare; it's called the American Health Care Act, I think. And people need to really be smart, and they need to realize that we already have a universal health care. It's called the emergency room. And it's not working, and it's costing everybody money, so something has to be figured out. I didn't say much about myself. I was born in Port Arthur. I live in Beaumont. Another thing that really gets me going, and I'm sure a lot of people disagree with, is Islamophobia. People are like, just have this knee-jerk reaction that all Muslims are bad ever since 9/11. And that, to me, is very dangerous because we believe in freedom of religion. But then people are like, oh, they're Muslim, they're Arab, they have a funny name, they look funny, and that's, when you stop and think about it, they're not Christian, and you might be Christian, but that's just saying, we don't tolerate you. And that's very anti-American, in my opinion. The family values. Everybody's like, I have family values, I have family values, I want to get back to the founding fathers. Well, I'm not sure what family values means. I mean, I don't know anyone who's against families. But I sometimes feel like that's kind of an anti-gay message, or I don't know what it is. Okay, and that's all the time I have, but I appreciate it. Again, my name is Amy Jacobellis.
Jacobellis. Our next speaker is Republican candidate for Congress, J.O.
Good afternoon. I'm really glad to be here today, and I appreciate you here at the Chamber having us down. I'm from Beaumont, was born and raised there, second generation there. Shot my first duck down in LaBelle, just down the road. I like to fish at Lake Sabine. I actually know the difference between the South Shoreline and Bessie Heights, and I fish both. I'm a part of your community. I want to continue being a part of this community. And my graduation party at the Rodair Club, anybody ever dances Idaho music? I buy my po' boys at the munis. Why do I tell you these things? I think it's imperative, it's essential that we have an advocate for our county and our community in Washington, D.C. who understands this area and who knows this area, knows each of you. My father was a doctor here. My family's been very involved in our community. I've worked with many of you here in this room. I'm an attorney. My firm is Germer Gertz. I'm very proud to be a part of that firm. We've employed about 100 people, mostly from Port Arthur, Port Neches, Groves. This area in our firm over the last 16, 18 years, we've defended and advocated for Southeast Texas for that entire time. I'm a volunteer. I've worked with your chamber while serving on the legislative committee at the Beaumont Chamber in Golden Triangle days. I've been to Washington, D.C. with A.B. Bernard, Associated Builders and Contractors, to advocate for this community. I'm a skilled advocate. I'm board certified in my area of specialization. That's an objective standard as well as a subjective one. My peers voted me there, and I passed the objective testing required. I'm the only candidate here who's a lawyer who has that recognition. I want to remind you, if you really want someone from Southeast Texas to go to Washington for you, you need to vote in the Republican primary. You may not be Republican. I encourage you to keep an open mind as to what you really need best in Congress. You need an advocate for your community who can represent you. This district is 57% Republican. We need someone from this community to go to Washington who can speak to both sides of this aisle, all sides of the aisle, but who can speak with a voice within the Republican Party to advocate and be strong for you. If you vote in the Democratic primary, you will not be able to vote in the runoff. That's important for you to know, because with 10 of us up here, there's likely to be a runoff. I say this as kind of a digression because of this. Jefferson County, for a long time, has felt like it didn't have its full accord either at the state level or the national. And that's not any slack from Ted Poe, who's done a phenomenal job. But Jefferson County, even within the county, sometimes is neglected. You see, a lot of us up in the West End and Beaumont don't treat this part of the county the way we should. I understand that. I want to unite our county. I want to work with each of you. If I have a meeting on an important issue like the Keystone, you'll be invited. So will your mayors. Glenn Johnson, when he endorsed me the other day, made a comment. He says, I don't want to be left out of any more meetings involving our county. And I agree completely. Talk to me, talk about me. You talk to me too. But talk about me with A.B., with Mike Roebuck. My first client here in this area was actually his dad, Phil. With Tom Berger, who I've worked with Jeff Hayes, who's over here, John Dratz, back here in the middle, the folks at APAC up here at the front. I know Paul Chaglois for a long time. They'll tell you about me and my family. We're committed to this community, and we're committed to be your representative in Washington. Thank you very much.